Okay, boxing fans, we've got a catchweight fight in the super middleweight division to bring you right now. We're going to talk to you about Felix Sturm versus Robert Stieglitz. All German fight. Actually, this is a really good fight, and it's one that's gone right under the radar, because I've heard people, even today, talking about Sturm in the middleweight division when he's actually now left the division. So, good fight, and the whole thing is we've got Felix Sturm coming off a loss to Sam Solomon, pretty much seeing that his career's in tatters, moves up in weight, gets a fight with Robert Stieglitz, you know, another guy who, he's actually coming off a win now, but he basically lost to Arthur Abraham recently. And the winner of this fight basically is going to fight Arthur Abraham for the WBO super middleweight title. Is this good business, Paul?
Yeah, I think it is, personally, because, you know, both guys are in last chance saloon. They've coming off some couple of bad losses, and neither one of them's going to get a big fight anywhere else. So I think it's a good fight. I think they suit each other perfectly. They're just what each other needs. Sturm, if he wants to carry on with his career, needs a fresh challenge, so he's gone up in weight. Stieglitz, if he wants to carry on, needs a fresh opponent, and he's got that in Sturm. So yeah, I think it's a cracking little fight. I know both of them are both very, very short, but when two short guys fight each other, they actually tend out to be quite decent fights, to be honest. So yeah, I'm definitely going to watch it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and not only that, it'll make them good money because all German fights sell. So
exactly. Neither one of them is going to get a better fight at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Rory, what are your thoughts on this fight? Is this good business, this fight?
Oh yeah, very, very good business. Like you've just touched upon, two German fighters, two German former world champions going in against each other. It's an easy enough sell, and there's big money to be made in Germany. They love the boxing. These two guys are well heralded boxing German world champions and boxing stars. So yeah, it's a very easy fight, and it's going to be very profitable for both of them.
Mm-hmm, yeah, and another thing that I was just picking up on before, just off there, it was saying there's these two guys, even though they're both shot, you can look at anybody in the division at, middleweight for Sturm, or now super middleweight, and super middleweight predominantly for Stieglitz, and it's like, you can't really moan at these guys fighting whoever they want, because they're both now B-level fighters, and they're going to get fight offers, and they're always in a half-decent fight, or they always give a good showing for themselves. They could all, you could hear that they're going to fight, the world champion, whoever the world champion is, any world champion. It's like, I suppose that's okay. It's not bad. There could be worse. And that's what it is like throughout. So, Kiggy, what are your thoughts on this? Is this good business?
Yeah, just reiterate what everyone said. I think it just makes sense in all ways, really. They're both going to make quite a bit of money out of it. They're both at sort of similar points in their career, and they're both big names in Germany, so it'll be a definite sellout, and it's sort of a win-win all the way around. So,
yeah, it's a win-win situation.
Should be a good fight as well, like Paul says. I think it will be a good fight.
And not only that, they've got options moving forward. So
exactly, especially with Abraham holding the WBO title, it's there waiting, isn't it? So.
So, the next question I've got to ask you, a bit of a comedy question really. Paul, do you think Paul Smith is going to ruin the old German party?
Paul Smith can fuck off. To me, I'll say it again. Paul Smith can fuck off. I know he put a really good fight in against Abraham. I know he feels he's entitled to a rematch. But I'm sorry, I would much rather see Abraham fight the winner of this fight than watch Abraham have a rematch with Smith. Do you know what I mean? Fucking, if you want to fight for a world title again, Paul Smith, go a different route, because at the moment, boxing fans, we want to see these German super fights. That's what I want to see. I want to see the winner of this fight Abraham for that belt. I know Abraham and the other two guys are all shot. They're no way near what they were, but they're still going to be good fights. It's definitely going to be good fights. I don't want to see those fights. I don't want to miss out on those fights just because some knobhead is whining and talking about how he got robbed. One last time, he can fuck off.
I mean, for me, Paul Smith, he can fight to lose this fight if he wants on the undercard of the actual main event, which would be the world title fight, and that he could do that, or he could fight Rocky Fielding, or he could fight, George. He hasn't really asked George Groves or James DeGale for a rematch. He's not done that. He could fight Beaker. He could fight a number of guys, but I don't expect him to. I'll just put it like that. What are your thoughts, Rory? Do you think Paul Smith is going to ruin the all-German party?
Sorry about that, guys. God, do we have to talk about him? Jesus, I'm pretty much going to echo what Paul said. Without being too harsh on the guy, he did put up a decent enough showing against Abraham. I had it a bit closer than some people made it, but I still don't think he won the fight. And for all that he's whining, I think he's probably opened up more doors for him. Seeing that it was a decent enough fight and him putting a decent showing. Like you've said, nothing's to say that you couldn't fight the loser of this fight or fight a top 5 guy or probably headline a show in Liverpool against Rocky Fielding, a Saturday night Sky show. I don't want to give him too much credence because he's had enough press time, but, like Paul said, I'd much rather see this fight than Smith go up against Abraham again. It's been done. He lost fair and square. Maybe not as wide as the judges gave it, but he still lost, And that's it. Look elsewhere. Just suck it up and carry on, Paul.
Yeah. Kingy, what are your thoughts on this? Do you reckon he's going to ruin the old German party, or do you think he's not?
I just wish him and his fanboys would fuck off. You know what I mean? He didn't even win the fight. Let's just... I could understand that people have been robbed well worse in Germany. When you go to Germany, you get robbed. When you go to anywhere, you get robbed. Just like Beltram did over here. It's just that's the way it is. And he lost the fight, any way you look at it. So, just fucking whatever, Smith. Just, like I say, fight Fielding, who's wanted to fight you for God knows how long. And get your ass kicked off him and then just shut the fuck up. Because I'm sick of fucking hearing from you. He put an half-decent performance in against a completely shot fighter. He's a nobody, you know what I mean? Groves dealt with him in 2 rounds. DeGale completely fucking destroyed him. And that was a younger Smith who was arguably better than he is now. It's not even... It's just fucking stupid.
It is what it is. I mean, I expect it from the media in the UK and especially in Liverpool. They're just going to get behind the guy no matter what, even if they're wrong. We didn't even get robbed. The right man won. How's it a robbery if the right man won? And to be honest, that's all the airtime we're going to give him, because we're talking about a loser. At the end of the day, we're talking about a loser. So if he wants to fight one of the other losers, then that's fine. Fight one of the other losers. But unlucky, mate, you ain't going to get another undeserved rematch, world title fight. So we'll move on. The next question I've got for you, Paul, is which fighter would you say has got which attributes over the other fighter? Just run down what Felix has got and what Stieglitz has got.
I don't think there's a lot between them, to be perfectly honest. They're both a similar age, I think. They're both 34, 35. Sturm's not got a great work rate, never has done. So maybe you could say Stieglitz has got a better work rate. Stieglitz has probably got better power as well, because Sturm's not really a puncher. But again, maybe Sturm has got the wisdom and the ring savvy, because he's one of the best fighters in the world, or at least he was one of the best fighters in the world at stealing rounds. Do you know what I mean? Where he switches on for the final 30 seconds. So maybe he's just got that little bit of cleverness over Stieglitz, and maybe Stieglitz has got a slightly better engine. But I don't really think there's a lot between them, to be honest, and that's why I think it's a really good fight. There's not a lot between them at all, at least not at this point.
Yeah, the most you could say is a 60-40 fight in one direction or the other. So, Rory, what attributes would you say each fighter has got?
Echoing what Paul said, I think if you look at Sturm, I think Sturm's probably fought a better class of opponents in his career. He's probably been more well versed in terms of, he's travelled much more than Stieglitz has and fought in America. Fought the likes of Oscar De La Hoya. He certainly fought and beaten probably arguably a better calibre of fighters. I'd say that Sturm is a classier fighter as well, and is probably more, like Paul said, ring savvy and has more sort of ring craftsmanship and more intelligence. And that's probably garnered by fighting better calibre fighters. That being said, however, Stieglitz knows the weight. Stieglitz is good at the weight. Stieglitz has much more power, and it has power that he can obviously carry at that weight. Whereas all those are massive question marks against whether or not they're too big an obstacle compared to his knowledge and expertise and his past experiences. Then that's the big question, and that's what I think will probably decide this fight. But again, like Paul said, it's very much a 50-50 fight in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Kingy, what main attributes would you give to each fighter?
Just really what the two boys said. It's like he's definitely got the intelligence over Stieglitz. He's much more got a lot better ring craft than him, and I'd say he's slightly quicker as well. But Stieglitz has definitely got the power and maybe the stamina because of the work rate. But there isn't a lot between them, definitely not. And I'd say it is a 50-50 fight.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is too. I think it's a close fight. I would say that, Sturm's got a better chin. Stieglitz has always been a bit lacking in that department. Stieglitz is the better engine, but he's also a high work rate fighter. Sturm's a low work rate fighter, but he knows how to steal them rounds. He's a lot more consistent, is Sturm, as well over his career, and he's always been at the top, of the division. Really, you can't really say he's ever been out of top 5, top 6. Stieglitz has been up and down a bit, and that's that. But at this weight, the only problem I've got and the only worry I've got is that Stieglitz could be drained because it is at a catch weight 2 pounds below 168, so 166. So that would be my only worry. But otherwise, it's a real 50-50 fight, and it depends what will win on the night. It depends which way the German judges look. This is German judges after all. Who knows what they're going to look at? Paul would say they're not even looking at the fight. Paul Smith, that is. But so, Paul, what are your thoughts on the prediction? Give me your prediction.
I'm going to go for Stieglitz, personally, because I know he's not what he was either, and Sturm's more shot than Stieglitz is, basically, because Stieglitz has still been, even though he's lost fights recently, he's lost 2 to Abraham. They've been competitive fights, he's not lost by a lot. He could have even won that third fight. That was a split decision, I think. And he did stop Abraham in that second fight. He looked great in that. So maybe he's still got a little bit of gas left in the tank, and he can still show it in his next fight or two. Whereas Sturm, it's been sad watching Sturm in the last few fights, to be honest, because he's so past it. It's you really want him to hang them up, or at least I did, because he's losing to fighters who, 5 years ago he'd never have lost to Sam Solomon. Absolutely no way. Probably wouldn't have lost to Daniel Geale. Probably wouldn't have needed a robbery to beat Matthew Macklin. Sturm's really time. Sturm gives it up now, to be honest. He's been shot for a good few years, and one farcical win over Darren Barker aside, he's not looked good for a while. So he's probably. I can understand why he wants this fight. Maybe he wants one last payday, or maybe one last shot at a title, because he's hoping if he wins this fight, he'll get Abraham. But I really think, his gas tank is completely empty. Stieglitz has still got a little bit left. So I'll go with Stieglitz to win a decision. Don't think he'll knock Sturm out. I think Sturm's a tough guy with a good chin, as you said. And the fact that he's going to be at a catch weight, he'll be a bit drained. But I think his work rate and his overall size, it'll just be too much for Sturm, and he'll win a decision. Stieglitz will.
Okay. What is your thoughts, Rory? Your prediction?
Yeah, I'm going with Stieglitz as well. Sturm's not been knocked out since 2006, I think it is, against Castileo. But I hate to say it, I think he's that shot now that I don't think he'll be flat on his back, count to 10. But I think it could be a case whereby the bigger man, in this case Stieglitz, even though he'll obviously be draining slightly with an extra £2 loss, may still carry that power. And I could just see it late on, 10, 11 rounds, Stieglitz just bullying him a bit, and he'd just be stuck on the ropes, not being able to push him off, and perhaps the towel just being thrown in on the ref, just saying, you've had enough, you know, time to call it a day. And I think that's kind of how it's going to go, perhaps rounds 9 onwards, Stieglitz by stoppage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've all got you guys have all got Stieglitz winning, but I don't know why. I've just got a hunch. I've just got a hunch that Sturm may just pull off like a one point decision. I don't know why. I think it could be that he steals a few rounds, he wins a few early, Stieglitz comes back. Maybe Stieglitz is a bit drained and his engine's not what it is, but I'm just going to say Sturm's going to win, a close one. I'm going to say a close, very close decision to Sturm. What about you, Kingy?
Yeah, I'm going to pick Sturm as well, actually. I actually think that Stieglitz may deserve to win it on his work rate, but I think they're going to give it to Sturm if it's close. Because I think that's a much bigger fight, Sturm against Abraham.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's much more lucrative.
In my mind, yeah. One of my little things, go on.
And that's, a lot of the time, that's what judges do, At the end of the day, boxing is a business, and although I think the Stieglitz-Abraham 4 would make a good amount of money, I don't think it'd make the same kind of money that Sturm would. Mm-hmm. Sturm's been, really, in my opinion, he's been the best German boxer that I've seen, In his day, he was fantastic. I mean, he was robbed against De La Hoya. He fought absolutely beautifully that night, and it was ridiculous, the decision. And he's a fantastic fighter, so I think that fight is definitely more lucrative.
Yeah, I think so too. So that's where we're going to end it. Thank you for listening to our video. Tell us who you think's going to win this fight, and tell us what you think's going to come next.